It's Sandy Parker, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. Today we're going to do some tips right off the bat, and then we're going to make enamel dots out of hot glue. And the first tip is this. You know how you have, well, some people have old bibs, and they're even better if they don't have that plastic back, but if they have the Velcro around the top, these could be as stained as anything. The cool thing about this is most of our craft chairs have arms to it. So what you do is you just unvelcro it, wrap it around the arm of your chair, and there you go. You've got an instant rag to wipe your hands on or wipe a project on, whatever. But that's my first tip for the day. The second tip is one I just watched Lindsay the Frugal Crafter do, and that involved cleaning her glue gun. Now I told you when I did that one project, I'm going to get more light on this. When I did that one project, how I ended up having that fur and from that, I don't know what you call it, the fur from the turkey feathers or whatever they were from that journal. No, it was an album. Sorry, this makes a lot of noise. But what it does is those feathers attach themselves to my glue gun in ways I can't even tell you. So I decided I was going to take her advice and try and clean my glue gun the way she did hers. And all she did was she took a wad, like I am, of aluminum foil, and she just started wiping while it's hot. So you know how brave I am that I'm doing this while it's hot. And that won't fix the problems I have on my cord. I'll have to fix those a different way, but it did fix that problem, and it looks pretty good. So you can see, for the most part, it did get the feathers and the miscellaneous off of it. So that was my tip. Second tip. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make glue dots, and I'm going to try and sit down to do this because I'll have better control of my glue gun if I do it this way. What you want to do is you're going to make, starting at the edge, you're just going to make a little dot and then swirl it around, and hopefully it will, oh, and I'm on a silicone mat. That's also very important. You want your dot to not have those little hairs off of them, so that's why you're doing the swirl. And it also helps you to make it so that your circle is a circle. Some of them will not be circular, they will be funky shaped, and if they are, those are, you know, those are duds. So if you're talking about the price of glue sticks as compared to enamel dots, I just think that this project is a lot less expensive. I'm trying not to make too many or not too large of glue dots, because the last time I did this, my glue dots got huge, and I think it's because as I did it, I was getting tired, and so the more tired I got, the longer I held the little plunger, I don't know, trigger. We'll call it trigger. Doesn't matter how close they are together because well, okay, there's a fail. We'll just say that one's not going anywhere anytime soon, other than the trash. Excuse me. The other thing that is cool about this is once you're done, you can leave them clear if you want to, but that's not the goal. The goal is that they look like an enamel dot. There's another horrible fail. I am left-handed, so maybe I'll try it left-handed, but I'm not usually good at things like this left-handed, weirdly enough. Back to the right hand. Anyway, when you make a project like this, the goal is obviously to make it look as much like an enamel dot as you can. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it and put them in a baggie and shake them around with alcohol inks, and that's one way of doing them. Then the other way of doing them is to, while they're still a little bit warm, fail, that one's a fail. My girlfriend Linda was able to do those pearlier beads and make those enamel dots out of pearlier beads, and I kind of hate her for that because I tried that and tried that and tried that, and I failed it and failed and failed at it. So I told her that someday I would do this tutorial because it is so easy to do, and for the most part mine came out really well. Well, of course, now, this is making a liar out of me, but what are you going to do? Some of them will go into dot form and some of them won't. The ones that are in dot form, well, we're happy to have you. Jump into the pool. Well, baggy. And then I decided, fail. The thing that's great about this compared to those pearlier beads is, I don't know if any of you know what those are, but they're little kids' beads that people put in the oven, and they turn those into enamel dots. Well, that's great if it works, but I couldn't get that to work. Mine looked like burnt pieces of plastic, and they stunk, and I did them outside, and the lady that I watched her tutorial on, she said do it in a toaster oven. I did it in a toaster oven. She told me exactly how I ought to do it. I did it at the heat she told me. It failed. So then I did again. It failed. I tried a different brand. My girlfriend had a bunch of them, and from her grandkids, so she brought her huge tub over, and I tried those. And her purple ones and her pink ones did okay. And by okay, I mean they weren't horrible, but for the most part, they just looked burned. And so I gave up. I tried as much as I could, and I just decided they just weren't worth it. And I'd already made some of these and knew that I was capable of making these, so I gave up on the other project. But if it works for you, then by all means, pearlier away. Me, not so much. Didn't do it. Wouldn't work for me. Okay, then you put them in your bag. Then you're going to take this is Adirondack, and it's watermelon. No, raspberry. I thought it was watermelon for some reason. And you just put a few drops in there. And then you close your bag. This is the important part. And make sure your bag has a seal on it. And then you're going to just move them around in the bag. And if your fathers were fishermen in the 60s and 70s, I don't know if you remember this, but they always seemed to have these worms that looked like this in color. They were bright colored, and they were kind of clear like these glue dots are, but they were really cool. And that was the thing I loved about going with my dad, because they also smelled like anise. I don't know if any of you remember that, but maybe they still make them. But it was cool, and I always loved going with my dad because it was so much fun to play with the stuff in his tackle box, even though I had no idea what any of this stuff was for. I just thought it was cool that it smelled like anise, and it was shiny and pretty and, sparkly. Not sparkly, rubbery shiny. Okay, this one we're going to do with Meadow. Again, make sure it has a seal on it, because you definitely do not want this stuff squirting all over you. Or, oh, I got way too much in there. Oh my goodness. It's gonna be green. Very, very green. Hope you can see that, and then I'm on camera. Okay, last but not least is gonna be sunset orange. Little strings off, because I just didn't want you to think that this was a complete fail. I took the little strings off of them and I separated them out so you can see them by color, and then I even attached some of the green ones to this card. I hope you can see them, and I think they come out really cute. The green would have been better, I think, if I'd used a little darker green on them. The other thing you could do is pearlize the green. I think that would be pretty too. But I just wanted to make sure that you saw that it's not always about how much something costs. Sometimes it's about what are the DIYs that you can do to make it yourself and make it much, much less expensively. And hopefully you got a lot out of that tutorial. One of the things you should have gotten was do it slowly. Make sure you do that swirl to get rid of this string between them, and I think you'll have really good results, and I hope you do try it. Please give this a thumbs up, even though I did go too fast. I apologize for that. And subscribe. I have lots of great tutorials lined up and some even better ideas that hopefully we won't involve pearlier beads. So thanks again for watching, and again, thanks so much. Bye-bye.